Ooh, Frere Jacques, no less. What a bit of fun. A charming little children's toy for piano. And I've got a whole lot of my keyboard collection here with me. That was the very first one I ever bought. She's getting a bit well beaten by now, all fallen to pieces, but never mind. It's given a lot of fun to children in the past. Another very early one, which has amazed me at the time, because it's a very early electronic card, and unfortunately, since it's nearly 40 years old, all the electronics, all these connections here have long since gone up, so it doesn't play any more tunes. But to have this way back in 1982, I think it was astonishing. Nowadays it's very common, and you've got these everywhere, but back in the 80s, so many years ago, it was astonishing they could do it, and I do like that. By contrast, about the same time, I bought a very nice piano which doesn't play anything at all, just a card which looks gorgeous. When you open it up like that, you get that scenario, which is very pretty. Because superb greeting card to give to someone who loves playing the piano or loves dancing perhaps, but it goes absolutely flat and opens up into that charming little scenario. Isn't that nice? So keyboards, there's plenty of them, my goodness. Here's a ruler, for instance, from the wonder company in Japan who make these lenticular rulers. There's a little centimetre ruler at the top. But when you move it up and down, because it's lenticular, you see a little bit of education for children and what the piano notes refer to, what are the nomenclature, both in the Western way of putting it and also the Japanese. It's quite a nice little way, and I like the little feature here of a metronome at this end, ticking away as you move it up and down. This is very sweet. So it's meant for students learning the piano, a little bit of a memoir for them. That's a nice one, I think. Here's a very early electronic one, which I did actually learn to play. Not that well, and since then I think it's probably a bit past its best now. A few of the things still work. Oh, it's not bad. A few of them, not many don't. And then you can play different tunes and it'll play it automatically. So this is very early days, and you can have a higher and lower volume and so on, but it's a long time since I've used this, and it's getting a little bit past it, I think. So, good time had by all. Here's a very strange now, right up to date, we come up to an extraordinary idea, which is a calculator. Keyboard calculator. We turn it on, we'll try 1, 2, 3, and then on the black note we have to go to a times, 4, 5, 6, okay, and then we do equals, and that's the answer. It's a bit difficult to use, I have to say. These ones, you've got to push them. The thing I miss most of all is the fact that there's no music, and they do say very clearly on the package, no music involved. There's no music involved in it. It's just purely silent. It would drive you mad, I suppose. But if we had music and then you could turn it to silent, that would be very nice. But never mind. By contrast, here's a telephone I had, which I used quite a number of years, in fact, which does play tunes every time you use it. So if you dial up Adele, for instance, 1, 4, 9, 4, 7, 1, 9, 3, 5, 4. Hello, Adele. Oh, bother now, I've forgotten. She's gone away, of course, she's on holiday. Never mind, I'll phone her next week. But nice idea, that. And they actually play the tunes, and even the black notes play. You can play tunes, but it's a dialing telephone. What a nice concept. And something similar is a tie, which plays tunes, would you believe? Dormez-vous, Frere Jacques. But you have to play it on the vertical like this, with your hand going up and down. It's quite possible to do that, actually. I think the accordionists have to learn to play the keyboard on the vertical. But it's nice to have it as a little novelty tie as well. The accidental notes don't play, only the white notes play, but still you can play a few tunes. Nice concept. There's some extremely interesting puzzles out there, two of which I've got here. This is something we've had on the website for some time. It's a keyboard puzzle. Each of these pieces comes out, but you have to lay it out. This is now solved, but in its original form, it was all out of order. And you can see it's solved because it's got 2 black notes, 3, 2, 3, 2. It's solved. Interestingly enough, after playing the piano for most of my life, I never noticed there was no corresponding black note at the very bottom. The A natural is the bottom note. There's no A flat on a normal keyboard. And I asked the professional pianist and said, yes, that's the usual convention. So something I never spotted all those years. So this is a difficult puzzle to do. And when it's all modelled up like that, it's quite a job to get it back into a puzzle, into its proper form again. So that's a good one. This is probably the best of the puzzles, these keyboard puzzles I've ever come across. This is actually on loan from a friend of mine, but my goodness, what a beauty. Japanese puzzle box. Inside is a space where you might put treasures. I haven't put anything in there, but to open it, what do you do? Well, you can press piano keys, no music, but it turns out that to solve it, you've got to press the chord of C. Let's have a go. And then you've got to push something in, right? That pushes to one side. Then it lifts up. There's a little hinge there. And you put this on, and you've solved it. And you've got a little space inside for treasures or whatever it is. What a lovely concept that is. Superb Japanese craftsmanship. A grand piano, which is a puzzle box. Wow. Here's an old friend. I've had this, well, for a few years, but this is an icon from the 1970s, I think. It's the old Stylophone. What a lovely idea it was. You push there, pull this out. It's got a wire. I've got it on tremolo, so it'll make a nice arpeggio. And the accidentals. Wow, that does take me back. The old Stylophone. Something you can carry around in your pocket too. I love it. Here's an interesting one. It's a proper children's sort of play piano. I mean, it's quite nicely made. It's got big batteries inside, and you can't play the keyboard, but it just plays itself. So you have to turn it on. Put it onto this one actually. Do you recognise it? Fur-Elise, Beethoven. A little bit discordant, but not bad. Here, by contrast, is a score of Fur-Elise, but I've got 3 scores to show you, which are scores for keyboards, but they've got a tremendously quirky part to them. Fur-Elise, it says at the top here, start looking at it and say, what's going on here? This is the bass clef, at the bottom. No, that's wrong. It should be up at the treble. It turns out this is a score for a left-handed piano, and they make them. There's a place in Trier that makes Bruckner pianos, which are left-handed. It's for professional pianists who've got a stronger left hand. It costs a lot of money, many thousands of pounds, but they are down here, which should be the bass, is a high treble, and that's a stronger hand. Up here, which should be the treble, is the bass, and that's what this is written for. This is up in the bass, la da 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 da, etc. Fur-Elise. Extraordinary. One curious little bit of fun here was they insisted, the professional musicians, that they keep the normal notation of a treble clef, bass clef. But actually, this is the treble tune, and this is actually the bass accompaniment to it. It's just a little thing they discovered. They originally had it the other way around. They said, no, keep it, it's too much to think about. And a professional pianist will play that perfectly well, Fur-Elise. There's 2 other extraordinary scores I've come across, which are, again, keyboard ones. This is for small children, and you've probably come across duets, but this is a triplet. They do, a few of them make these ones. You've got 3 children sitting on the piano stool, a bit like the rush hour. The top child plays that tune there, the second child plays that bit there, and the third one plays that bit. And they start playing a little bit of Annie Laurie, a famous Scottish ballad. Lovely idea. Their hands are a bit cramped in, but it's a triplet for 3 children to sit at the piano and make a very, very nice sound. What a beauty. And the last of the extraordinary piano scores I've come across was this one here, which is a Russian one from Anatoly Kalinin. He's got a wonderful puzzle book. This really baffled me because I read music a little bit, not very well, but I can't read the Russian, and I couldn't understand it. And I showed it to my niece, who's a professional pianist, and she said, well, she played it as it is, and it just sounded rubbish. So then I took it along to a friend of mine who's a conductor and a composer and really knows music very well indeed. He's very, very accomplished. He played it all the way through and said yes, it is funny, but there's something familiar about it. Then I said, I only discovered last night what it was. He said, oh, yes, of course. Look now, it's waltz time, 3/4. Every waltz time you've ever come across goes cha-cha, cha-cha, and then the Blue Danube, da-da-da-da, etc. This one ends cha-cha, cha-cha, Oh, it's backwards. You start this end and you go like that. Oh yes, yes, and immediately becomes clear. Cha 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 da 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 da. Do you recognise it? Lovely, well-known piece. Leave it with you as a little teaser. The last item is an extraordinary device I picked up at the New York Toy Fair about 15 years ago. Santa's Magic Piano. It's a big, robust piece. It's got lots of, well, it's made of wood and plastic, and inside there's some quite advanced technology. Look at this thing here, little L's feet at the bottom, with place for 2 accidental notes. You put this on a piano between B, below middle C, B and F, I think it is, and you plug it in and you switch it on, and you get carols coming from it. What a lovely idea. It plays carols on a normal piano. I think we've got to try this, don't you? Let's have a go. So there we are, from Broadwood to Elfwood. More like Matchwood, I would say. What do you think?